Yo, it's your boy Jarrell with the Silent A podcast. And man, we're back with another one. And a quick one at that. Yo, hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. And as always, subscribe if you got the time. We appreciate that love. And for this, let's get straight into it. We got the likes of Big Baby Jared Anderson calling out the other Big Baby. Yes, Mr. Big Baby Jarrell Miller himself. And that's a lot of big babies in one sentence. But let's get straight into it. Rumor has it, Mr. Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing everything he can do. Everything in his power, throw a little money around and get some contracts signed, sealed, and delivered for this fight, meaning Jarrell Miller, Jared Anderson, to go on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford, September 13, 2025. I like this fight. Now, rumor had before, Mr. Jared Anderson, Big Baby Jared Anderson, was on the top of the list for Anthony A.J. Joshua's comeback fight. But hey, if this can happen first, I'm all good for it. And if it doesn't even happen at all, I'm still good to settle who is the true big baby of the heavyweight division. I know that sounds weird to say, but it is what it is. Hell, we got two men nicknamed Big Baby, both of them, decent pop, decent fighters in the heavyweight division, both from the U.S., both can talk a lot of smack, both got a good mouthpiece on them, and both actually got decent boxing IQ and skill set. One of them has a stamina out of this world that we've never seen. Yes, he was a former drug cheat in the shape of Mr. Jarrell Miller, but he's redeemed himself. He's come back strong. He's been impressive. He's enrolled in 24/7 drug program, and nothing has happened since. He's had a couple little injuries and then some discrepancies with his contract that's kept him out of some of the higher fights in his last go around. But all in all, he's made a good account of himself and, had some good outings, some good fights. And more importantly, when Jarrell Miller steps in the ring, he comes to fight. He comes to scrap. He comes to put on the show. Same for Jared Anderson for the most part, even though he suffered that setback, that loss last year, August 2024 against the likes of Mr. Martin Bacoli, yes, the boogeyman himself. Got stopped in his tracks, knocked out, I believe it was round 5 or 6. And, kind of set him back. And then he came back with a little comeback fights, lower tier fighters, but a little bit lackluster. But all in all, the man at least steps up to the plate, steps up to the challenge and gets back in that ring, win, lose, or draw. Now, how do I see this fight going? I said I like it, right? I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good undercard, especially since the Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford fight card really needs something to keep building it up, right? I know that's a big fight itself, but there is no main event in boxing without a decent undercard to get the fans going and get us warmed up, right? And this kind of fight right here, especially two talkers, two big men, two heavyweights that, know what they're going to do. And more importantly, they're going to get in the ring and actually throw hands. That's a good, prelude or whatever you want to call it to the main event, meaning Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford. I like the fight. Now, with that said, I see Jarrell Miller beating the likes of Jared Anderson, and I actually have him stopping him probably midway through the fight. It's about the confidence. Jarrell Miller's always been confident. He's going to come and talk his shit. He's going to come in and do what he has to do to get in that ring. He's going to do, more importantly, the promo and build up and walk in there with high confidence that he can beat any man in the heavyweight division, whether that's true or false. But sometimes that high confidence can take you above and beyond your skill set. Miller is going to really beat this guy, meaning beat Jared Anderson, for the lack of, the confidence, what we just hit on. Anderson, you can see it in the face off that they had, or whatever you want to call it, the run in, and where Anderson is quote unquote running down the likes of Jarrell Miller, that something in his eyes doesn't sit right with me. I don't think he really wanted to set this fight up, but he wants the money. And if you've been following Jared Anderson, he's been 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and maybe this is just another big payday for him to keep his name growing, and talked it up, got his name in the papers and on the online and in social media, and he's trending, and may have walked into something that he really doesn't want right away. Because when you see the man in person, you look at him and they all looking at each other, and you see Jarrell Miller clearly says he'll take the fight. I've never seen Jarrell Miller really turn down a fight, and the only way he actually gets out of a fight is when he messes it up himself. Other than that, he's going to sign up, and he ain't afraid to fight nobody. And why should he be? The man's 300 pounds, 3, 6'4". That's a solid man, solid heavyweight who can hardly be hurt. The only man that stopped him so far is Daniel Dynamite Dubois, and that was very late in that fight. And don't get me wrong, Jarrell Miller was still in that fight, and he was beating the likes of Andy Ruiz, should have got that victory, and got robbed with a draw. So a man of his size, his stature, yeah, why wouldn't he be scared? And then you see him step up in person. See, there's a lot to say things online. There's a lot to say something over a phone call and text. But when you see the man in person, you see that brashness of the likes of Jarrell Miller. It kind of set things into reality. And you just see it in the young man's face, Mr. Jared Anderson. But then again, who knows? Maybe that's just how he looks. Maybe that's just how, he is a little awkward at times. If you've seen him at different media outlets and in certain interviews, he's a little awkward at times, but sometimes the eyes don't lie. But either way, I think it would be a good step up fight for this brother. And I think it would be a good confidence test to see where he is. Are you still in the sport of boxing? Do you really still want to be here after that loss to Martin Bacoli? But like I said, due to the confidence, due to the stamina, due to the size of Jarrell Miller, I just can't see Jared Anderson beating him. And it's not that Jared Anderson doesn't have the skill set. I just don't think Jared Anderson has the chin. And more importantly, I don't think he has the stamina, and he will drown when that whole wave and sea of fatigue sets upon him after punches from Jarrell Miller comes, because he does not stop. That brother has a gas tank on him that is heavy. He's like a diesel Mack truck that just keeps running across country, and he doesn't stop. When that sets in, that fatigue, fatigue makes cowards of all men. Once that's, that wear and tear and you get tired, once that sets in on the likes of Jared, and he's going to get sloppy and his defense is already bad enough, that's a recipe for disaster for the young man. And at this time right now, I just don't see it. But I do see this. I see it being entertaining for the buildup for Canelo, Terrence Bud Crawford, and just an entertaining buildup all around for the fight. And then more importantly, I think it will actually be a fun fight to watch. Let's say a fan-friendly fight to watch. And I think we're going to get some hands thrown and some violence. And what better way to start off a mega card on Netflix, September 13, 2025, than two big babies throwing hands in the middle of the ring from the U.S. and talking shit to get their names known and thrown across. But anyways, that's our opinion on this. Hit that like button, comment below, and subscribe, man. Let us know what you think. Are you interested in the big baby fight, or should Jared actually go step to the likes of Anthony AJ Joshua? Anyways, that's our opinion on this. Give us that like, comment, and more importantly, subscribe if you got the time, man. Appreciate that love. Until the next time.